Meet Sisyphus. You may have heard of him, but in case you haven't, here's his CV really quick. Sisyphus is a Greek king, trickster, and most importantly, a professional boulder pusher. Okay, let's rewind before this becomes even more confusing. Long before CrossFit was a thing, like a billion years ago, Sisyphus was a normal, boring person like you and me who happened to be a king with a hobby of irritating the gods. How? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, he snitched on Zeus for abducting a river nymph. I know, how rude of him. But if Greek mythology teaches us anything, it's never, and I do mean never, mess with cows, chickens, sheep, goats, or Zeus's love life. But Sisyphus, not taking the hint, continues to be annoying. When death, and yes, a literal personification of death, came to get his soul, he said, "Hey man, what's up? Oh, by the way, do you want to try on these totally not enchanted handcuffs? They're free." Death, being an idiot in this story, says, "Well, I thought you'd never ask." And then things happen in the bedroom that I cannot possibly explain here because we're trying to keep things PG, and well, let's leave it at that. I'm just kidding, that did not happen. But here's what did happen. Nobody could die anymore, which is great and all until your enemy's army can't die either, and now they've overrun your kingdom, turned your palace upside down, and making an even bigger nuisance of themselves than usual. Eventually, Ares, the god of war, for those who've been living under a rock, decide to free death out of the goodness of his heart. Now, isn't that nice? But wait, there's more. Sisyphus, being the problem child, had one last trick up his sleeve. He told his wife Merope not to bury him properly, and then guilt-tripped the underworld into letting him go back to the living to fix it. And once he resurfaced, he just stayed there. The gods don't take betrayal lightly. I mean, can you blame them? They could have vaporized him or turned him into a goat, something boring like that, but no, they got creative. Sisyphus was sentenced to push a massive boulder up a hill forever and a day. But every time he reached the top, it would roll back down. And that is how Sisyphus became the patron saint of pointless efforts, corporate workers, students, and anyone who's ever tried to clean a house with children inside. Flashing forward to the 1940s, along comes Albert Camus, a French-Algerian philosopher, existentialist icon, and chain smoker who looked like he walked straight out of a noir film and straight into a poetry slam. Camus looked at the myth of Sisyphus and said, "Wait, what? That's life! Me! You wake up, you go to work, do chores, suffer through all the small talk about the weather, go to bed, and do it all again. You probably do things in between like shit, but I don't want to bore you with the details." Camus called this the absurd, the clash between our deep desire for meaning and a silent universe that offers none. So, if life is meaningless, what does one do? Camus says, we rebel. Not by running away or curling up into a ball, but by staring the absurd right in its dumb face and rolling the damn boulder anyway. He said we must imagine Sisyphus as happy, because the moment he accepts his fate and keeps on pushing, he is free. No false hope, no illusions, no fancy stuff. Sisyphus isn't a victim, he's a badass. He pushes because that's just what he does, and in that defiance there is something weirdly beautiful. So now what? Well, first, don't go challenge the gods. I know it's much easier said than done before you say anything. But second, recognize your boulders. That crappy job, that nagging anxiety, that pressure to run around doing nothing, pretending like it's productive. We all push something. But maybe the meaning isn't in the boulder, it's in the push. So off you go. Embrace the absurd. Roll that metaphorical boulder. And if it rolls back down, I hear you ask, remember, life is ridiculous, and push it again. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I'm sure you'll come up with some snarky answer in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. For more useless life advice, the content of this, please consider subscribing.